Hello, and welcome to that Arsenal show. Hold on. Did I just hear someone say that Thomas Partey is better than Paul Pogba? Or that Arteta is a great tactical mastermind? Or did I hear someone say that Arsenal are going to win the league? Somebody said that, I'm sure. This is the Arsenal show, hosted by me, Adam Charles from the Fifth Official. Make sure you go and subscribe to that channel on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at TFO Show. I'm in a fantastic mood. And the reason is because I love nothing more than bursting the bubble of big-headed Manchester United fans. They thought they cracked it. They thought they knew how to get the best out of Pogba, of Scotty McSauce, of Rashford, of Greenwood. They thought that the diamond was going to save them, but I don't care what Shirley Bassey or Kanye West have to say. Diamonds are not forever. Today, I'm joined by the illustrious Arsenal show panel. We have Igal, obviously. How you doing, bro? You're on mute, sir. You're on mute.
Guys, we're holding my funeral on Thursday. I'm here. Arteta's still here. And you know what? All you guys need a noise. All the fanboys go run up.
Wow. Okay. He's here. He wants to smoke, clearly. We've got Sam, who's also been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Sam, how are you?
Bro, first time in my lifetime in the Premier League, we won at Old Trafford. 14 years is a long time, but you know what? Mikel Arteta has changed things at Arsenal. And this is one thing. He's proved all that was wrong. Winning at Old Trafford. Something that we've struggled to do since, Henry was at the club. It's been a long time coming, bro.
Damn. And we also have Kesh. And you know what? I think Kesh is very needed. And the reason why Kesh is needed is because he's very level-headed. He specifically told us earlier today not to get too gassed because we're not Bayern Munich. So let me thank you very much in advance. I'm going to tell you that we are going to get gassed. So I mean, your advice has fallen on deaf ears. But how are you, Kesh? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm here shameless, but I'm at the same time.
Lovely. We also have Devo, who's going to be joining us later. But I think he's just busy at the moment. But I know Devo will be keen to get one over on Neeks. And Neeks, if you're watching, I just want to give a big fat shame. I just want to tell you shame. Because I know, Neeks knows about the Arsenal-Manchester United rivalry. But yeah, let me say, viewers, thank you very much for joining. All of you that are watching, please make sure you like this video. I know you're predominantly Manchester United fans, but you have to like good content when you see it, surely. Also, be sure to sign up to the mailing list to have access to exclusive content, special offers, and all sorts of other treats that Terry's got in store for you. The link will be in the description of this video, so go ahead and do that right now. And also make sure you're sharing this video, commenting on it, liking it, subscribing to the channel, and all that other good stuff. And you already know that if you want your comment to be read out, give us a super chat, and I'll make sure I do that. Okay, guys, I think I need to make it clear. I was definitely joking. I don't think Arsenal are actually going to win the league. Let me just be clear in saying that right now. I don't think that's going to happen. But guys, we saw something yesterday that I thought was quite interesting. Not only did Arsenal, my beloved Arsenal, win away at Old Trafford for the first time since 2006. I was at secondary school at that time. Not only did we see Arsenal outplay Manchester United with an excellent press, being more alert to the second and loose balls and completely nullifying their attackers. Rashford, who even scored a hat-trick in the Champions League. But our midfield, which only had 2 players in it, dominated Manchester United's midfield, which had 4 players in it. And the most intriguing battle for me in there was Thomas Partey versus Paul Pogba. And we've heard all the excuses under the sun for Paul Pogba. He has to play on the left-hand side of a midfield 3. He needs to be unlocked. He needs to be given all the right circumstances in order for him to thrive. But here we have Thomas Partey, who's come in a short space of time and showed just how good he is and been a transformative presence in our midfield. So how likely is it that you think that Partey is going to go on to be world class? I don't know who wants to take it on.
Let me jump in first. Combined 11 between Arsenal and Manchester United. You guys have the audacity to try to say Fred is going to get in over over Partey. Really, after last game, we can say that not only does he get in over Fred, but he gets in over Pogba. And in my opinion, Bruno went missing last night, and he gets in over Bruno. Because last night, what was it? Last night? It feels like it was a mile ago. I'm still celebrating. But I'll tell you guys this. Partey last night showed you guys why he's one of the best midfielders in this league. In his what is it? His third big game, he showed up. He showed up against a 4-man midfield with his partner Elneny, took the game by the scruff of the neck and showed everybody why he is the man that he is. And you know what? Arsenal right now, we look like we went out and spent 70 million on 2 bargains, a combined total of 70 million on Gabriel and Partey. These guys spent 80 million on a fridge. Get out of here.
Wow. Okay. We also have Devo. Devo, how you doing?
Good. What's up? How's everyone?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
My guy.
Good.
We're very good. What do you think? Do you think Partey is going to end up being world class, bro?
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it's really down to him. I think he's got all of the tools in the box that needed. My cat's just saying, "What's up?"
Whoa, man!
Yeah,
That's again, bro. That's good.
Yeah, Halloween was the other day, but still.
All right.
Yeah, he's got all of the tools needed to be a world-class midfielder. I would say one thing, just let's not go OTT just yet, because many different things can happen in a footballer's career that means they don't reach their potential. And we've seen it more times than any fan base. We've had many midfielders who could go on to be that good, and then injuries or whatever else has stopped them from being that. So let's just calm down a little bit. Let's just say, you know what, we've got a very good player here, and let's enjoy watching him play, and let's enjoy watching him progress and become world class. And then when he gets there, then we'll shove it down everyone's throats. But let's not do it yet.
I hear you. But Sam and Ketch, I'll come to you. We've, as Igal alluded to, the combined 11s. People are talking about Fred, who can't even pass accurately under pressure, being better than Thomas Partey, getting in the team under Thomas Partey. And I can even see someone in the chat saying that, you know, I think it might even be Terry himself saying we laughed at Terry for saying that Bruno's one of the best cams. But Partey, we've seen him do it not only at Atletico Madrid year after year after year, but we've now come and seen him make a genuine transformative presence in Arsenal's midfield. Are we getting gas for no reason?
Let me take this one. First of all, the combine 11. When I said let's do this off form, I done that on purpose. I took a leaf out of Terry's book. I baited United fans to make them pick that. Yeah, that's to take pressure off my player. Protect Partey at all costs. Yeah, let them think that Fred is better. So cool. For me, in this modern era game, a midfielder, Partey is shown you don't just break up play, you don't just defend, you can go forward. That for me is an all-round perfect midfielder. Yeah, he did what I expected him to do. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 game. He just done what you had to do. For me, he's got the potential. He's got the world at his feet. But as Devo just said, anything can stop a player from being world class. It could be injuries, could be the team just not being built in the right way to make sure. At the end of the day, football is 11 players on the pitch as a team. So it doesn't always work just by one player being there. We need to build a team around him and get him to express and do what we know that he's capable of doing. So for me, big up my guy, Partey.
Lovely. Love that. And go on, Sam. Talk to me. What do you have to say about Partey? How are you feeling about him? World class? No?
Bro, he's already world class, bro, because anyone that gets into Simeone's midfield has to be a world class player. Because if you look at Saul Niguez, Koke, you know, all world-class players, world beaters who play for Spain. You know, Spain is the best international country, but if you ask Atletico fans who's the best, they would obviously say Thomas Partey, because he was that great midfielder that held everything together. You know, it's like that little piece of a puzzle, the one big piece that you need, and Thomas Partey is that. You know, he dominated. Adam, how many times have we ever seen, in how many years, our players go to Old Trafford and get sat on their asses? How many times, Adam? Exactly.
Sat on their asses. I've seen it many a time. I thought you were going to say how many times are we going to see them dominate Manchester United, but I've not seen that happen since 2006, genuinely.
Thomas Partey is, bro. He is an alpha male. Dominant, yeah. Paul Pogba got swept by him. Bruno Fernandes was non-existent, and you got to give credit to the system that Mikel Arteta played yesterday, and also Thomas Partey and the defense, because I think that was a stellar performance. We did what we must, and you know what? we can't criticize anyone. We're just full of positivity and happiness. You know, first time in my lifetime in the Premier League that we've won at Old Trafford, and I'm very satisfied. And big up to Mikel Arteta.
Love that, love that, love that. So you just mentioned Pogba there. Where do you see that? Because I've seen again in the comments people saying that they're two different types of players, but I've heard from many Manchester United fans over the years that Paul Pogba can do absolutely anything. He can be anything he wants to be. So I feel like it is a genuine comparison that we can make here. But where do you think that their games differ? How do you think that they are the same type of player? Do you think that they're different? Do you think we can genuinely say that Partey is better than Paul Pogba?
Really, you can't really say anything about that, because what Paul Pogba is more of an offensive player and likes to go forward, while Thomas Partey, he likes to sit back straight right in front of the defense and protect it. Well, Paul Pogba, what he does for France, because he has N'Golo Kante next to him, someone who's like a Partey, as a DM who sits in front of the defense. Pogba has that freedom to express himself, you know, create, because he's got world-class players, Mbappe, Griezmann. Pogba's more of a creative player, while Thomas Partey, you know, is like a Vieira type player, Kante type player, just protect the defense, you know. It's just that level of security, because sometimes on a night out you need that security, and Thomas Partey is that.
Yeah. Okay. And what does anyone else? Go on again. Go on.
Can I message to the super chat? Bring up the super chat with Aaron. He's saying specifically, he's talking about how we're talking about him like he's 23 years old. The man's 27, and he's not like a potential prospect. But the thing about it is, you're missing the point. We bought the finished article. We did not buy an up-and-coming talent. We went and got a player who's the finished article, who's been bossing the midfields in Champions League games, who's been doing it in Spain for year in, year out for Simeone. And this is what we needed. We did not need a prospect to come in, struggle, and get his feet under him. This is a man who's a finished article, going to step into our midfield immediately, raise everybody's levels. We've seen it in the Europa League. He's a step above everybody else in our midfield. And when you bring a person that's level above everybody else, what does he do? He raises the level. He demands more from everybody else. He demands more from the rest of the team. And we're not getting gassed about the player specifically. We're getting excited about the opportunity of having a player who we can consider one of the best midfielders in the league, and he will raise our midfield immediately. We were being compared to our midfield to Everton, Aston Villa before Partey came in. Now that Partey comes in, you can't even do that anymore, because maybe the rest of the guys are not levels, but his level is so high above everybody else, you can no longer make those silly comparisons. And that's what we're talking about here.
Adam, let me comment on that as well, please.
Go on.
When I'm saying potential, I'm not specifically talking about ability-wise. What I'm talking about is his application to the game. With Pogba, he's a luxury player, like the likes of Ozil. That's a dying breed in football now. Like, as a player, you need to be able to be an all-round player. You need to be able to go back and defend from the back and from the front. So with Pogba, it's not his ability that's in question. It's his application towards the game. Like, you can have all the ability, but if you don't apply yourself properly, it just won't work. How far can you go as a player?
It's a good question.
Yeah, sorry, but one thing I'll say about Paul Pogba is his price tag. They put too much pressure on him. They think he's like a Steven Gerrard, where every moment, every big moment, every game, they look at him like Steven Gerrard was for Liverpool. Everything big went to Steven Gerrard. Now they put that pressure on Paul Pogba because his price tag. Paul Pogba, they're not asked to be a £90 million player, but you know what? They're expecting too much from Paul Pogba. You know, I can't think he could take the pressure. Like yesterday, Adam, when he gave away the penalty, he said, I apologize to my teammates, but I was out of breath. You can't be saying that as a £90 million midfielder. Come on. Wow. Oh no, forget about Paul Pogba. This is a Thomas Partey masterclass, Gabriel masterclass. You know, Marcus Rashford gone missing, you know, and Paul Pogba, £90 million player, gone missing. Bruno Fernandes. I heard Man United fans talking about, he's contributed against every team in the Big Six. He hasn't done it against Arsenal. He's played one time, I know. And also one thing, Adam, Arteta is 2-0 against Oli. So what do you mean by Oli always beats every single team, every top manager? Where was he? Hasn't done it against Arteta.
I don't know. Devil, sorry, you're on mute. What were you saying?
Just about Pogba and the whole thing. You make a point. He didn't spend 90 million on himself, and I think that 90 million and the fact that it's Paul Pogba, I think there's pressure on Solskjaer to play him. I think it's coming from the higher ups because he doesn't deserve to be in the starting 11. He doesn't deserve to be playing in the team if you're looking at it just from credit. But I think because he's Paul Pogba and he has that name, I think there's pressure being put on Solskjaer to keep him in and around the team. Because for me, he makes Manchester United's midfield worse as it is at the moment. I think as Paul Pogba as a name, it does. It imbalances the team. Whenever he plays, that team doesn't look balanced.
It's true.
When they have Fred and Matic and Bruno, or Fred and McTominay and Bruno, it's a lot more balanced. Pogba comes in, the whole thing seems off. But for me, it's like, no, you have to play Paul Pogba because we've invested so much money and time and blah, and it's Paul Pogba. But I think fans, Man United fans especially, a certain part of the Man United fan base have this kind of, they remember his name more so than what he's done for them. Because what has Paul Pogba done in the Man United shirt for the past 4 years? Nothing. But because he's Paul Pogba, they all want him to play. So now he's Pogba, he's a bad man, he could do this right foot, left foot, but he's not doing it. It's like me saying, you know what, I could drive a car real fast, but I never drive a car.
So are we saying...
What's the point of me saying that? Do you know what I mean?
Are we saying that because Manchester United's midfield was so imbalanced yesterday, and because they didn't, have the right tactical setup, that it wasn't the fact that Partey and Elneny actually bossed Manchester United's midfield? It's more that they played to our strengths. They played into our hands. Is that what we're saying?
100%.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we played well, and because we played well, it made Manchester United play bad. But I don't think, for me personally, when I saw that game, I thought, yeah, we done well. But I think some of the praise was a bit too much. Because, yeah, we dominated the game, but what did we do with the ball, really?
Yeah.
If we never had that penalty, it would have been 0-0.
I think they were too narrow.
We didn't create.
They were too narrow.
And that's the problem we've had all season.
Right.
Partey is going to do well with that, but we need that extra bit of creativity in midfield. Our best outlet was Bellerin. Bellerin was our best outlet in that game.
That's how it needs to be in.
I agree
exactly.
with you,
So
I agree with
think, yeah, Man United were poor. Man United were poor, but I think we made them poor, and they weren't good enough to kind of beat our press, and they didn't have the energy in midfield to keep up with Elneny and Partey. But there's going to be games where Elneny and Partey can't play. What are we going to do?
True.
Okay. Kesh, did you say you were agreeing there? You think that we?
Yeah, no, I agree. As I said when I came on after the game, I said we shouldn't get too carried away. There's loads of things that Arsenal still need to work on, and there's going to come a point in the season where hopefully I do feel we'll find solutions. But it's just the season's so early. Like you can't get carried away from it.
Fair. I agree with you, but here's another caveat. They play to our strengths. We create a lot of our chances from our wide areas, either being a Willian or a Tierney crossing it in, or a Bellerin overlapping. That's where we were creating a lot of our chances. And with a narrow midfield, the way they played with the diamond, we get the best service from that area because we're gonna ask Pogba to come back and defend, and that's how we got the penalty. They had to ask Pogba to come back and defend, and from out of all people, Bellerin was in the box and Pogba fouled him. If it wasn't for Pogba being on that right-hand side, we would have seen more of our attack coming from the left. But the reason why today there was more balance and more unpredictability to our attack was because of the way they set up. It offered us more balance in our attack because now we have Pogba on that side, on the right-hand side, and we can attack that right-hand side because we know he doesn't offer anything defensively.
Yeah, one thing I would say with the way we played yesterday is we put constant pressure on Manchester United. You see the times where Bellerin roamed up the pitch and put pressure on Luke McDonald. Yeah, always always bullying this guy. Yeah, and then he saw Bukayo Saka, bro. I love Bukayo Saka so much, man. He's a special player. And today, Aubameyang, he gifted Bukayo Saka with a little chili chain. A special player. Every game that Saka's played almost this season, he's been integral. Man City, he was our best player. Maybe he should have scored. Yes, we were unlucky to lose the game, but he came out looking like our best player. And today, yesterday, at Old Trafford, he was very special. And how many times have you seen a little kid, an 18-year-old kid, go up to Old Trafford in a big game, and just dominate and do his own thing, He had Wan-Bissaka on toast, bro. Wan-Bissaka was sliding down there, bro. Honestly, Aubameyang, we criticize him that he doesn't score, but you know what? The moment we needed the most in the game, we were so desperate for him to score and step up. He stepped up. I can ask no more from Aubameyang. Yes, maybe from open play he doesn't contribute much from recently, but you know what? I can't ask nothing more from yesterday. All I care about is the 3 points.
Adam, can I say one thing quickly?
Of course you can, Miguel. Of course.
I think we won the game and it was well deserved. No one could tell us we didn't deserve that win, but at the same time, Ollie's setup did benefit us, and that's what I want to take away from it. So yes, Manchester United messed up. We deserve the win, but at the same time, the way they set up was in our favor. And I don't think other teams are going to set up that way. So we're still going to need to be creative enough to win games. And we did not create enough chances and enough clear-cut chances to lose this game. But at the same time, we're not clinical enough. We need to be clinical. We should have been up 2-0 at halftime.
Damn. Fair enough. We should have been. I can see Jem in the comments doing a madness, but someone's saying that you're smoking spice, and I actually agree. So let me talk about Elneny, because let's face it, Elneny balled yesterday. He balled out. Now again, I don't want people to say that I'm getting gassed over Elneny, but if any of you had ever watched Arsenal consistently, you would know that the Elneny that we had before compared to the Elneny that we have now is like chalk and cheese. And I cannot believe that Elneny was breaking up play and even passing, just even being able to set the tempo of the team and of the play like he did yesterday. So do you guys believe that this is the midfield pairing that we go with going forward, or is it just for the top six?
I think it's just for the top six. It all depends on the opponent. Because we're playing like a lesser team, like your Burnleys or your Chelseas. I'm joking. I'm only joking. But, if you play Burnley and Sheffield United, I'd expect to play more like Ceballos in midfield, Xhaka. But when we're away from home and the odds are against us, and we know there'll be constant pressure and the counter-attacking threat, and I'd like to see Elneny and Partey play, because them two always constantly break up play and they can carry the ball forward. Never thinking backwards. That's the first time in my life, Adam, Igal, and everyone else, Kesh, that I've seen Elneny not look backwards, but think forwards. Like someone's changed his mind, not backwards-minded player, now he's a forward-minded player. Or maybe I want to see this for a long run, but if it continues this, Adam, he's going to prove me wrong, and I might have to apologize to Mohamed Elneny.
Not fair. Honestly, I'm going to apologize to Igal, because I think that, I still do, to be honest, I think that Mohamed Elneny is a dead baller. I'm going to hold my hands up. He's just got long hair and he just passes it to here, to here, to here, to here, and that's it. I rarely see him make penetrative passes. I can think of one off the top of my head, and that was against them Dons that we played in the Europa League like 2 weeks ago. I mean, what more does he have to his game? But Igal, I know that you have a lot to say about this brother. So please take it away, Igal. Go on, do it.
Fans, don't forget that Ludogorets goal for Ozil. The man who played the ball was Elneny. And guys always talk about Mohamed Elneny as this guy, Mr. Sideways pass, this is that. What do they call him? Elneny sideways, this is that. Always criticizing him, always making fun of him, saying, Emery told him, find a new club, this is that. And he went out, got 38 games in Besiktas, he came back a better, more polished player. We don't know yet if this is going to be him consistently week in, week out. But from what we've seen, he has the work ethic, he has the mobility, he has a little bit of the passing range that we want from Xhaka, and the most important thing, he has the energy and the stamina, even in the 90th minute, to run around, close down people, and make sure that he's a problem in that midfield. I'm not getting carried away here. I'm not saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. What I'm saying is, from what we have, from the options that we have, next to a Thomas Partey, the energy and everything that he offers us, this is absolutely great. And may I say it, Gilberto Silva tried to tell us he compared him to Vieira. I'm not comparing him to Vieira, but maybe the legend. Maybe he might be onto something. No. Listen, you guys are misquoting me here. What I said was Gilberto Silva did compare him to Vieira.
Compared who to Vieira?
He compared Mohamed Elneny to the closest thing that we had to a Vieira in the squad before we signed Partey. So it might be on
Can Gilberto even speak English? Probably not.
Forget what Gilberto
He's on that stuff.
That's not nice to say.
He's the one that's smoking spice.
Listen,
so, all right, honestly, guys, Kesh, Devo, do you two believe that the Elneny Partey partnership is the one that we should go forward with?
Partly. I think it depends who we're playing against. Honestly, going into that game against Man United, I think the reason why we had Elneny and Partey is because we would need to win the ball back in order to have any possession. I think games where teams allow us to have more possession, so home games against lesser teams, we will see Xhaka play because he distributes the ball better than Elneny. And I think we'll see Xhaka playing in there because Arteta obviously likes Xhaka. But I think the games where we need to be harassing and we need to be pressing, we need to be tight on players, Xhaka isn't going to do that. He hasn't got the legs. So I think it's good to have different options in midfield. And I think having Elneny there and being able to trust him because he's been there for a fair few years. And I actually liked Elneny when he first came in. I thought he had something about him, but he just never had the consistency. He dropped too many games where it's a 5 or a 6 and not enough 8s and 9s for him to really make an impression as an Arsenal player. But I think he went away, he worked hard, come back, and he's played decent since he's come back. But can he be consistent? And that's the problem with a lot of our players. A lot of our players will drop 1 or 2 performances, and then it's like, yeah, that's a good player. And then for 3 weeks, they're non-existent. And we get these little rubbish results because our players aren't consistent enough. Can he, next to Partey, can Partey really drag him up and say, look, this is our level now. This is where we're playing. We play at this level every week. Hopefully, that can happen. But I see Xhaka starting a lot more games than anyone would like him to play, to be honest.
Wow. Maybe not everyone.
Not everyone. I like Xhaka. I think he's all right. But
you have to like Xhaka.
Arteta's a big fan of Granit Xhaka. So what the manager says goes. We have to accept it.
True. Kesh, let me read this super chat and address it to you. We've got a Manchester United fan, and this is what I hate about Manchester United fans. He says, taking the L, well done. Cool. Your super chat should have ended there. If you're actually going to take your L gracefully, leave it there. But he says, tactics dead. McTom was Fred. Fred is not a DM. Shocking from Ole. Just don't get too gassed. Your bubble might burst too. It's just be graceful. Be graceful in your defeat. And this is what I just can't stand about Manchester United fans. It's poor. It's poor from him. What do you reckon that? As I said, I feel like I've even asked it already, but he's clearly making excuses for the fact that Manchester United lost rather than Arsenal playing well. Why do you think he's doing that?
Just deflecting. That's all it comes down to, really.
Has to be. And it's not good enough. It really ain't good enough.
A pinch of salt.
Also, we've got another super chat here from Wayne Sage, who says Gilberto compared Partey to Patrick, not Elneny.
No,
if that's so, then that could be.
He did say about Elneny. He said he's the closest thing to me and Vieira. He says he was the closest thing.
But one thing you were saying.
I get what you're saying.
But one thing you say, this quote was taken 5 years ago before Mohamed Elneny signed for Arsenal. Like a couple of days before he signed, saying that maybe. Arsenal fans get overhyped with some big signings. And then he was a £5 million player from Basel, and we're comparing him to Gilberto. But let me tell you something: Thomas Partey is the real deal, bro. Honestly, he's so imposing, physical, and dominant. Mohamed Elneny couldn't dominate Paul Pogba like that, but Thomas Partey can. And this is a special feature Thomas Partey has: strength, brutality, interceptions, pace. He has a positive energy. Whenever you look at his face, man. He just can do nothing but smile at him. He has positive energy. You know what? He's been a positive, fresh air for the club. You can't hate on this man, honestly. And some fans were criticizing him, and some rival fans. Let me digress. Rival fans chatting shit about Thomas Partey. Yeah, Thomas Partey. Oh, he's not this, he's not that. But Højbjerg, Fred, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg were compared to this man. Yeah, to Thomas Partey. Honestly, you gotta stop smoking the weed at the day after that shit. Relax and look at football from a right perspective. And Thomas Partey is far better. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Fred only could dream if they were that man's size and had that man's ability. Even a quarter of that man's ability, yeah? So relax yourself. That's what we'll say.
That's all we put to say. Okay, we're going to move on. In the next week, we're going to talk about Arteta. Listen, I'm getting good at it, I'm getting good at it. Come on. Anyway, right. So there was something.
Proud of you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There was something of an inquest last week when Arsenal lost to Leicester. Some fans were calling for the manager's head, and I did see that. Arsenal fans are so reactionary sometimes. And some people like myself began to wonder whether Arteta was actually a defensive coach rather than the attacking one we believed him to be, because I only just found out Steve Round is his assistant manager, who was David Moyes' assistant all those years ago, and it still boggles my mind to this day. But in saying that, Arsenal have the best defensive record in the league, and that is not something I've been able to say for years. And I don't think we can stress the importance of that enough. Arsenal have the best defensive record in the league. So do you think it was an overreaction to the loss that we had to Leicester last week?
Well, I believe it is, because our fans, some fans really, Adam, believe that you should sack a manager every week if he doesn't perform to his best. This is not how football works. In every road, every manager, there's always going to be ups and downs. And you know what? We're on a down when Mikel Arteta had a down last week. And you know what? You got to pick yourself up and then carry on. And you know what? We picked ourselves up and we moved on and we beat Manchester United. I know some fans are saying, Mikel Arteta, I didn't want him. He's not good enough. But if you look at the majority, you always go with the majority. And the majority of Arsenal fans say Mikel Arteta is a man. So you side with the majority, you back Mikel Arteta. He will be the one to take us forward. Yes, it's very early. Mind you, Adam, that he's been manager his whole life, footballing management, as a coach, number one, for 10 months. And if you look at 10 months that he's been Arsenal coach and manager for the past 2 months, you got to praise him, because no one would have won the FA Cup if he came in. It was beyond the wildest dreams. The players mentally were down. And now if you look at it today, the players were so mentally together. There's a togetherness with the club. And now if you look at Aubameyang, buying Saka gifts, the harmony is so much there in the locker room. But yet, some fans may not see it. They probably look at Mikel Arteta's football and see, oh no, he's not good enough. He's not this. He has to go. Listen, back Mikel Arteta. Arsenal fans, don't fight, okay? This is the problem with us Arsenal fans. We fight too much, bro. Honestly, yes, unite, back Mikel Arteta, and hopefully we'll progress. Just back Arteta. No more infighting, bro. Take it on it, gal.
So I just want to make it clear, I was not specifically referring to Lee Gunner. I've not even heard.
You mean Lee? Sorry to cut you off, Gunner.
Let's not go there, bro. Let's not go there. Let's talk about people.
I've seen people in the comments say that Lee Gunner isn't going to change his opinion, because I wasn't even talking about Lee Gunner. Before today, I didn't even know Lee Gunner was actually Arteta out, to be honest. So it just goes to show me.
I was referring to some fans who wanted Arteta out. I didn't name any names. I just
referring. That's fine. But yeah, Devil, I saw you making a face about whether we should question Arteta or whether it was an overreaction to the loss that we had. Why did you make that face?
Because it is an overreaction. It's ridiculous. I think you have to look at the basis on what it's a project that he's working on, and you have to just trust the process. At the end of the day, we were an absolute joke defensively for a long, long time. There's a lot of work that had to go into that for him to be able to do in 10 months what he's done, to give us a shape defensively, to give us any sort of hope of being a good defensive unit with some of the players that he's got. Do you know what I mean? People are writing off Holding. People are laughing at Luiz. People laugh at Mustafi. People laugh at Kolasinac. But he's managed to get these players into a defensive unit that has now got the best record in the league. That shows that he's doing a good job. The other end of the pitch, we're lacking. Everyone can see that. We have no creativity. We're struggling to score goals. But hopefully, with Partey in there, and hopefully in January, if we can maybe pick up another creative midfielder, and possibly, I don't like slagging off our players, but for me, Lacazette ain't the guy. Lacazette is not the guy. We need to get someone who's a bit more clinical in there, because if we're making 2 chances a game and they're both falling to him and he's putting them wide or missing them altogether, we're not going to pick up points. So for me, Arteta, I wanted Arteta before we got Emery, and Adam can tell you that. I wanted Arteta. He was the one I wanted. So from now, I've seen him come in and what I've seen him do. Nothing has changed my mind. Some of his selections are a bit iffy for me. I think sometimes his team selections, I think sometimes he overthinks things, which is the same for Pep Guardiola. So maybe that comes from that whole thing, because, Pep goes into these big games and starts playing like Sterling as a DM or something mad. And you're like, why are you doing this? Like, you win every game every week. Why are you changing this up for Leon? And then we saw what happened there. So I think Arteta's definitely the right man for the job. And I think he's definitely going to be a top manager, and hopefully he does that with Arsenal. Hopefully it's not a case of he does really well and then gets poached. But yeah, back him 100%.
Yeah. Igal, I want to come to you on this one. So obviously, as I said, we have the best defensive record in the league, and there's you can't take that away from us for now, anyway. But do you think that we actually have the right to claim that when we're playing three at the back? Because, I mean, it's easy. Some might say it's easy to have the best defensive record and to not concede goals when you're literally parking the bus and playing three at the back. So do you think that this is something that we should celebrate, or is it just a happy coincidence?
What you control is how you play defensively and how you score goals. If you cannot score a bunch of goals and outscore your opponent, you have to make sure they don't outscore you. And what Arteta has done, he noticed that we don't have the creativity to go and outscore teams like Emery wanted us to do, and and Arsene Wenger wanted us to do. So he's now created a culture shift at the Emirates. Okay, there's a big culture shift going on, and a lot of the fan base is not okay with the culture change. We are now moving away from the days of Arsene Wenger where we're outscoring teams, trying to go for the jugular, doesn't matter who it is, and throwing our attack forward. We are now sitting back, being calculated, and trying to win games at any means necessary. And that, to me, is a great thing. And the most important thing is we have to be okay with the fact that this might be a 2-year process before we get to the attacking team that we want to be. But for now, if it's a defensive performance week in, week out, and we're the best defense at the end of the season, and we get top 4 by playing defensively, I don't care. All I care about is how the team wins and if they win or lose. I don't care if they do it defensively. I don't care if they do it winning a game 3-4. To me, it's all about wins or losses, and that's all that matters. We're in a results business, and you know what? If this is what's getting us results, we shouldn't be criticizing him on how he's playing. We should be criticizing him in losses, not in wins.
Okay, that's an interesting. Kesh, what do you agree? Style of play out the window. It's wins.
As I've said before, yeah, it's going to take time. There's times where we used to play pretty football, or defenders was more like midfielders than they were defending. They was never interested in defending. It's a culture shock at the club. You have to admire him for what he's done to show up his defense. Of course, we need to get the balance right going forward. But I think that comes with time and different personnel. As I said, like, it's been so many years of just scoring goals but never able to keep those leads. Like, what's the point? I'd rather reset, change what we're trying to do as a philosophy and how we're trying to play, and back the manager up. Because at the end of the day, if we get rid of the manager and we bring someone else in, this person might want to play pretty attacking football, but is he going to get back to get those players who can actually play that? You want to just rip up the project and start again and just keep sacking managers? Where's that going to get us? Just need to have some patience. At the end of the day, how do you expect something to change that's been rotting for how many years in just one transfer window, and expect Arteta to better what Arsene Wenger was doing and go and win a title or something like that? It's not going to happen. Just need to take time.
Adam, let me add something to that. A lot of our fans wanted the guy from Juventus, I forget his name right now, and Simeone. Allegri. Guys kept talking about Allegri and Simeone. And last time I checked, this is how they play. They play pragmatic football, and they try to soak up pressure, and they try to beat teams by playing defensive style football. And if you want these type of managers, and you get Arteta, and just because he's a young up and coming manager and we've never seen him manage before, and he's doing similar to what these guys wanted, the big name managers they wanted, it's almost like they're killing him because who he is. If he was a manager who's been doing this for year in, year out,
you know what, Igal? Do you know what? That's a good point, Igal. Well done.
If you want Simeone and you want Allegri, if Arteta's playing defensive football, you don't have a leg to stand on, in my opinion.
Adam, Adam, I want to add to that. Sorry, go on, Kesh.
What you have to actually look at as well, yeah. We've got a player in Gabriel. We've got a player in Partey. How many years have we gone past trying to get players of this caliber who actually makes a difference to the team? You've got to applaud the manager for targeting those sort of players. Like, all we need is a few more transfers. Like, we've been saying this. Keep adding players of this caliber and we can go places. That's all it takes. Instead of these mediocre players who's got no fight in them. That's where we've been going wrong for many years.
Let's stop signing players from Chelsea, man.
We
We can't be a retirement home.
Well, yeah. Adam, one thing that I'll add on to that is that some fans were criticizing the way Arsene Wenger plays, saying, "Listen, we don't care if we play attacking football. We just want to win football games." And now we're not playing, attacking football, and we still win games. And fans still moan. It's a lose-lose situation, man. We can't change your mind every day, bro. Honestly, keep to one thing, yeah. We as Arsenal fans are sick of losing. For so many years, we went to places like Wigan, yeah, dominate possession, 80% possession, then get battered and lose the game like 2-1, right? We're fed up of playing attacking football and losing. What Arsenal fans expect now is go back to our old roots, which is play defensive football like we did under George Graham, and just win football games. 1-0, 2-1s. We're just so fed up of losing. Just win that by any means necessary. That's what I've come to terms with, and hopefully all Arsenal fans can come to terms with that. We want to be a winning club.
What about our greatest ever manager, Arsene Wenger? When he came in, people were saying Arsene who? Imagine in the Twitter age today if we signed Arsene Wenger, and instead of after we sacked our manager, we ended up signing him from Japan. Imagine what would happen. Imagine how crazy everything would go, the meltdown, how everyone would go absolutely nuts. They would never give him a chance. We would never have an Arsene Wenger today if in this day and age. People would be going for his head, and you know what? There would be people who would say, "I don't care if he wins the league next year. I still want him out because that's not the guy I wanted." That's how this is what social media has done to us.
Fair. It sounds like the name of the game is patience here. I want to read out this super chat from Wayne Sage. Again, thank you very much for the super chat, sir. He says, no manager is immune to criticism, talking about Arteta. If he gets something wrong, yes, he should be questioned. If he gets it right, then praise him. Some overreact. And I think it's a very good point. Because we have the right as I would say paying fans, but the fans that were paying to go to games, they pay their money, they save it up, they give so much money to these clubs, they have the right to question the fans. I think the issue becomes when it becomes a toxic attack. When players like Granit Xhaka, he has his wife and his kids insulted, or people say that they wish cancer on certain players. I think that is the overreaction, and I think we need to learn to draw the line between what is acceptable and what isn't. That being said, however, I do think that Arteta gets it right more often than he gets it wrong. And I'm going to go out and say I believe Arsenal can get top 4 this season. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
The way this league's playing out, the way this league's going at the moment, it's there for the taking. I think if anyone is serious, all it takes, by the looks of it, is a run of games where you're just putting 3 points on the board. And it seems like no team's been able to do that yet. Even Liverpool have struggled to put together a run. So it's looking like if any team can get a stretch of games where it's 5 or 6 wins, or 5 wins out of 6 games or something like that, then they're going to put yourself in a good position to finish top 4. But if we don't challenge for the top 4, when I say challenge, I mean miss out by a couple of points, I'll be very disappointed this season, to be honest, because it's there for the taking. I think it's pretty wide open this season.
It's too early.
I mean, am I the only one? You think it's too early still?
No, it's too early to ever count anybody out. That's what I was saying. So I agree with you. And I also picked Arsenal to finish 4th. But what you also have to look at our competition. Right now, Man City are with the game in hand, they're a point behind us. Chelsea are on the same amount of points as us. Liverpool are only 4 points above us. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything is still early. There's a lot of games going on. We came through this run of games versus City, Leicester, and Man City. 3 of those and Manchester United. 4 of our toughest games. Now the rest of the season, we just need to pick up the points against the smaller teams. We won't have to face Liverpool away anymore. We won't have to face City away anymore. We won't have to face Manchester United away anymore. We already got 3 of our top games out of the way already. The rest of the season, it could go easier for us now.
That's one thing I need to say as well, Adam. That a lot of fans are saying, okay, if Arsenal didn't get that penalty, they wouldn't have won. But for me, if you go away to one of your rivals and you draw, there is no shame in that at all, because the away fixture, that's what you're expected to win. You're expected to win at home. So that's no shame on us. That's more of a shame on Man United.
I agree. We've got another super chat here from Olise Coca. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, sir. He says Simeone and Allegri won multiple titles. Don't compare, I guess, both of them to Arteta. And again, they don't play the same style all through the system like Arteta. Okay. I'm not.
I don't understand that.
I don't
question.
understand
I'm not sure what you mean by that, sir.
I think that's more of a statement.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he might mean that Arteta doesn't have the intention to play defensive football his entire career. And again, that's the hope that I'm clinging to purely because of the fact that he spent a lot of time with Pep. But if he ends up as a defensive manager, perhaps I just need to change my perceptions of him. Maybe I just need to get used to the fact that Arsenal will end up winning games 1-0, soaking up pressure, relying on the counter. It's not something I like. It's not the purest and most beautiful form of football. But if it's going to get us results, then maybe I just need to shut my mouth and let Arteta do his job.
I think it's purely he's done this way because that's the best way we can win games. I think he's seen that we don't have the attacking impetus in the team to go into a shootout with teams. I think the best way for us to win games is to be solid at the back. They always say defenses win championships. You know what I mean? Sort your defense first. Because to use Liverpool as an example, when Klopp went to Liverpool were like scoring tons of goals, but conceding tons of goals, weren't winning anything. Klopp thought, you know what, I need to sort my defense, get that sorted out first. But obviously Klopp had the front three in place that made it a lot easier for him to, once he sorted out the defense, trust those three to go and get the goals to win the games. We need to now get that front sorted out. We've got the defense. It looks like we've got a defensive structure that's in place that's strong enough to stop us from conceding goals. Now we need to get the forwards firing so that we can get 2 or 3 goals when we need it. Or if we just need to nick a goal, we have that in place as well. I think Arteta's on the right path. We just need to sort out the other end of the pitch. As Kesh said, the transfer window is going to be massive for us. Let him get 1 or 2 more players in with a bit more creativity at the top end of the pitch. We have something in place.
Can I ask you guys something as well? Because one thing I picked up on the game yesterday, which is why I think it's personnel issues why we're not creating enough chances or getting on the end of enough chances. When you watch Lacazette's game, great, he's good at hold up play and building the play up and letting people get involved. But other than that, what else does he actually do? Does he spin off?
Do you know what?
Does he make his defenders chase him?
Kesh, I like you, bro.
Hold on. You hold on. You know what? It's good you even brought this up. Good you even did it, yeah? Because we're on a different segment now. Now, I was thinking about this. Why are we expecting this from Lacazette when you have Bobby Firmino, who's the defensive centre-back, box-to-box striker, when Lacazette is effectively doing the exact same job? Why are we expecting the world of Lacazette? You don't get me wrong. I think he's arse. I think as a striker, a pure number 9, the guy is woeful. But again, maybe it's about me changing my perspectives and looking at the role that he's now being asked to do. I don't think he's a pure 9 anymore. So perhaps I can't expect him to be scoring those chances.
You know why we need more from him? Because we don't have Salah and Mane. We don't have Salah and Mane. So we can't afford to carry Lacazette. We need someone who's going to get on the end of these chances. Because as I said before, if we're making 2 chances a game, we need whoever those chances to fall to be clinical. So and it hurts me to see Aubameyang on the left, who's just being left, out there doing nothing. When if we had him in the center, if these chances were coming his way, more times than not, he's putting it in the back of the net. I know he's not as good with the hold-up play and bringing others in, and I feel that's why Lacazette keeps getting played, which is fair enough. But we need someone who can do the hold-up play, bring others in, and also be clinical in front of goal. We need to get another striker in the window for me.
I think the thing about Lacazette is that we're asking him to do something that he's not. He's not the guy who's going to make the proper runs to get the ball and do. He doesn't have the movement of an Aubameyang. He doesn't have a movement of a poacher where he's just at the end of those passes from a Tierney or a Bellerin. What he is, he's a guy who needs the ball in his feet and needs to be able to turn and take that quick shot like he used to do in the first season when he was with us, and even what he was doing at Lyon. He would get the ball to his feet. He'd be able to turn around and see the goal, and then pick his spots. That's what he is. He's not a guy who's gonna wait for his chance and then run into a perfect position to get the tap-ins. That's not his game. And we're asking him to do something that's not his game. But what he's doing off the ball is as integral to Aubameyang's goals, because Aubameyang is taking 40% of his time he's spending in the goal in that striker area, even though he's playing on the left. So where's Aubameyang? I mean, where's Lacazette at that time? He's dropping deeper, filling spaces, and he was integral to helping us get the midfield battle.
But I don't agree with that. The reason why I don't agree with that, there was occasions where he received the ball at the edge of the box, and when he controls it, there's no aggression to push his striker off, try and get a yard of space to take a shot. It's never that. He's always playing back towards his own goal. He can never switch it up. That, for me, you can't tell me he can't do that as a striker. I see Sunday League strikers do that, mate. You should be able to, as a striker, make a yard of space for yourself to get a shot.
And you know another thing as well, to go off that as well. Someone in the comments said that we'd be better off for keeping Giroud. Now, as mad as that sound, going by what you just said, Kesh, I've seen Lacazette as well take the ball to his feet, and he'll try and pass it off. But then after that, I don't see him trying to break his neck to get in the box.
Get the box.
I don't see, there's no passion, there's no want for him to get in the box. But Giroud, he'll pop that ball off. Next thing you know, he's spinning, he's trying to get on the end of something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see from my striker.
That's coaching, though. Who are the coaches?
No, that's not coaching, man. That's your own personal greediness.
No, but sometimes it's sorry,
this is not a young striker we're talking about. This is a striker that is in the prime of his career. Like, that's something you get taught at a young age as a striker. You can't start teaching Lacazette that now when he's 28. Come on, man. There's no excuse.
It's about the positioning. It's about the positioning.
One thing that I will see is you can't change your player's mentality that much. Because really, if you look at Lacazette yesterday, where Bellerin whipped the ball in, and countless other games, Lacazette was jogging back when really he's a striker and he should be there. And there are countless opportunities that Bellerin has put in a good cross, maybe for the first time in the game, and Lacazette is not in the end of it. It's really disappointing. And I expect from Lacazette, if he doesn't give up the intensity, drop him.
Look at the one. Look at the one, where he got it at the edge of the box, and he played it to Bam. I'm not saying that was a wrong choice. It should have been a better ball, but if you look at Harry Kane, for instance, Harry Kane there with the pub, he took it out his right foot and have a strike there. You don't ever see Lacazette taking shots. He doesn't shoot.
But let's be clear. I think what we're asking of Lacazette right now is something that we're never going to get from him. Like you said, Kesh, he's too old. He's 28, 29, probably even pushing 30 now, to be honest with you. And Arteta, who we know is a coach first before a manager, isn't going to be able to get that out of him, Miguel. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's going to happen. Which is why I'm rather looking internally at what I can do and seeing that the guy who's not really quick, he's not the same player that he was at Lyon. I think injuries have gotten the better of him. I don't ever think he's actually been that fit, because you remember those days where he was coming off at 60 minutes every game. I think his lungs, probably his VO2 max is lower than mine. So I reckon he probably just is lacking, and we have to just accept him for what he is.
Yeah. Are we playing to anybody's strengths? Are we playing to Aubameyang's strengths? Are we playing to Lacazette's strengths? Are we playing to our right wingers? William,
say that.
Igor, the only way you play to Aubameyang's strength is playing him through the middle, though. So that means your point about him and Lacazette linking up is invalid. Then that means Lacazette needs to get out of the team.
Boy, man like Wayne said, we do have a Salah and a Mane. Their names are Aubameyang and Pepe. He said Lacazette is being asked to play a much deeper role. We do not play with a 10. Wayne, everything that you said in that was almost perfect. The
Apart
Pepe
from everything you said.
Oh, I don't know.
Listen, one thing I would like to see from Pepe this season is play a consistent run of games. None of this business here where he plays in Europa League and drop in the next game. I would like to see him play like 5 games in a row, and this is something that Mikel Arteta hasn't done yet.
There's a reason for that.
So much.
There's a reason for that. He gets on the ball and he thinks he's playing FIFA Street. It's not FIFA Street.
You know what it is with Pepe, and I keep saying this: football IQ. That's a big thing. He doesn't have any of it.
Been saying that for a while.
Football IQ. He's good, talented, very talented player. But when it comes to making the right decision at the right time, 9 times out of 10, he makes the wrong decision. And for me, that's something that will need coaching. That's something where you need to coach him and say, look, you know your natural instinct to do that. Don't do that. This is what you do, and just keep drilling that.
Remember.
This is the thing, yeah. This is a thing that can be taught in the training ground and taught by coaches. It's something like a Dan James. You can't coach his end product because this guy is finished. But with Pepe, there's hope in there. If someone just comes in and pauses and says, "Look, you're supposed to do this. You're not doing the right thing," just someone be by his side the whole time when training. Like, no, don't do this. Someone like Robert Pires, just help him and guiding him through the way, using his knowledge in the brain. Because you know what, he has the ability's there, and he's showing flashes of that. Especially in the FA Cup final where I think it was his best game in the Arsenal shirt. He really turned up that day. I want to see more of that really, and just have belief in himself. And probably, sometimes he's probably a little scared of going through. And this is something I'm gonna
get slated for doing these comparisons. But if you guys remember, when Heung-min Son first came to Spurs, he wanted out of the club, and Poch wanted to keep him. I'm not saying they're nowhere near the level of player right now.
No,
you cannot compare that. But hear me out.
All right, go
on. Sometimes it takes time for a player to get adjusted to the style of play and the league and the physicality and everything that has to do with it. Because don't forget, this man in France, his first season when he played for Lille, he didn't do much. The second season, he got 14 goals. The third season, he got 22 goals. So it's just like he could do the same thing. We could see a progression from him throughout the season. I'm not giving up on him yet. I just want to see more from him. I agree. He has not showed us enough. But at the same time, if you were to go to a Spurs fan when Son first came, the first 2 seasons, he didn't do nothing.
It's not the same, though. It's not the same. Like,
why is it not the same?
Because Son's always been a direct player. When you're a direct player, it's easier to simplify your game. When you're a player that you tend to do a lot of skills, it's just a negative, and it's hard to teach out of a player like Pepe. Like, sometimes you just need to play the ball, give and go, move off the ball. You don't always have to be on the ball. That's how you're less threatening. If you play the ball at 1-2 and you make a run and you get to the back post, there's a chance in it for you to get a goal. Pepe doesn't do that enough for me. And he's not creative like that, so he shouldn't need to be on the ball so much. How many times have you seen a Pepe create a goal from open play? It's rare, very rare. It's mostly from set pieces because he's got a great left foot on him.
Yeah.
So he can do that.
Is it because he's 72 million? If he was a 50 pound or 45 pound million, if he was the same amount of money as what Jota went for, would you guys be criticizing him as much?
Hold on. Before we
if you're in my starting lineup, then yeah.
You know why? Because you can see the talent. You can see the talent, and that's what makes me criticize him even more. Because you could see clearly he's a talented player. But at that age and at that level, you should have a high enough football IQ to do the simple things right. And it's the simple things that he gets wrong. It's like, just to go off what Kesh was saying, I've never really seen Pepe making runs in behind the defense. He always comes short, always wants the ball at his feet because he wants to do some madness with the ball. Whereas the most intelligent run might be to stretch the field and get in behind so someone else could take that space. But he doesn't think like that. For him, it's like, let me get on the ball and see what I could do on the ball.
Yeah,
there's other ways to play football.
Let me just read out the super chat quickly from Olise again. He says, Igal, do you think the board made a mistake with Pepe instead of Zaha? And why do fans compare Oli with Arteta and Lampard? Oli has been coaching for a decade. Oli's been coaching for a decade.
Yeah.
Successfully
in Norway.
So for the first part, the Zaha thing, last year, Pepe actually technically, statistically outperformed Zaha. It may not be the eye test, but statistically he outperformed him. I'm not saying he's a better player. Zaha has shown that he's been a Premier League proven player, and I wanted Zaha personally. I didn't know much about Pepe before we signed him, to be honest. But moving over to the Arteta thing, the reason why they compare them is because they all came into the job in and around a similar time. You got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in the year before Lampard, or the same year as Lampard. No, just the year before Lampard, and then Ole came in, and then what do you call it? These guys all came in and around the same time, a year and after another. And that's why they get compared. They're all big clubs and they're all different things. And a lot of it's banter. But when it comes to Arteta, I just think he's a better manager than both of them based on what he's shown so far. And he's already won a trophy with them. So, hey.
Let me just touch on the Zaha thing. For me, Pepe is more talented than Zaha, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe we would have actually got Zaha instead of Pepe if Palace didn't want the money up front. Palace wanted 70 mil up front. And what you have to understand is, with a Pepe now, his ceiling's a lot higher. So of course they've decided that, well, we know what Pepe is given. We've seen what he did last season. Zaha didn't even match him for numbers when you think of it. So why not just go for Pepe? Obviously, it's not worked out so far. So a lot of our fans, we are down from it because, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of money to pay out for a player that's not really producing. But sometimes you get it wrong. Like, we've seen it throughout football. Sometimes the player just doesn't cut it. And that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, one thing that I'll also add on to that is that his price tag, I think, really is more like a Paul Pogba thing where they expect too much of him. Yes, I know that he has the potential, but he didn't ask to be a £72 million player, you know. And really, he moved into a country that he's never been in before. I'm not making excuses, but you have to take it with a pinch of salt. He has been performing, you know. He didn't ask to be a £72 million player. And the beginning of his reign, he really never had a preseason, and he was playing under a football terrorist, football terrorist. Honestly, hard to watch football. Then he played under freer managers, and you know what? We need someone to unleash him because we have no creativity in that pitch. And sometimes, you know, you can see in the games where Pepe is demanding the ball and he's not getting the ball once. But Hector Bellerin, you know, Hector Bellerin's improved, but most of the time when you look at somebody else, Hector Bellerin, they see Pepe demanding for the ball and he never receives it. I don't know why, but honestly, just give Pepe more freedom to express himself, like Arsenal English did. Not too much, but just express yourself on the pitch.
Pepe let us down big time in that Europa League game when we lost to Olympiacos because he had an opportunity to show us some end product. He cut and then had the wide open pass, then chose to cut again, had the wide open pass.
No, but Igal, the thing is,
I think he overthinks.
Lacazette was in the box, so obviously that wouldn't be in the goal. So he said, I might as well go in for myself because Lacazette was in the box.
My point is, he's indecisive. He needs to be more, as Kesh said, he needs to be more direct. He needs to he needs to think about just one thing and one thing only. Forget about everything else. Either when you're going into that box, you're going to make the first time pass or you're going to try to get a shot off. And sometimes I feel like he overthinks things and he just needs to simplify it and calm down and just get used to making quick decisions and not overthinking things.
Fair. I think that's a good place to leave it, guys. Thank you very much. I think we've already established that Partey is better than Pogba, haven't we? We've established that Lacazette is a bit of a flop. So is Pepe. And Arteta is a defensive coach, but we don't mind it because he hasn't got all the tools just yet. And hopefully he can start to do his thing. And one day, I pray that Granit Xhaka will get back into this team.
And Adam, let's take a moment to laugh at the Man United fans, that are in Arsenal, Neeks and all the other man.
Yes.
Laugh at Terry as well, you know? Yeah, Terry as well, doubting us, some not prime, but some fans, also gonna get smashed, peppered, 8-2, 3-0, 4-0. Mikel Arteta always better than Arteta. Where are you now, guys? Because Mikel Arteta is 2-0. Arsenal marching through. Thank you.
Love that. Igal, tell everyone where they can find you. Go.
You guys already know where you can find me on Twitter at @TheKittyG, and you can find me on YouTube on EGTV. Just search EGTV, you'll be able to find me. Done now.
Love that. Sam.
Samuel 4002 EFC on Twitter. Now a little bit of positive energy. Most time I was last fan with the press, and also big up to some guy called E3 Boss 2003 in the comments. Always sticking up for Arsenal fans everywhere on the Gal fan on this channel. Big up to him.
Lovely. Kesh, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter. That's KeshFC04. And you can also catch me over on the Igal's channel. That's EGTV.
Love that. And Devo, what about yourself?
It's right there. Devo LDN on Twitter. And you can find me on the Football Dugout on YouTube, along with Leaks, as you name as Neeks, but it's Leaks now. And the boy Javern. Back to that Javern.
Oh, yeah, I love Javern, man. I miss that boy so much. Javern is my guy. I miss him. Anyway, you can find me at TFL Show. It's right there. Just search us on Twitter and on YouTube. It's The Fifth Official. Guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back again next week after another Arsenal victory. Yeah?
Yeah.
Another 3 points, bro. On the board.
Another 3 points.
I don't want to hear about the Nicolas fanboys on next week.
Yeah. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Love that.